Welcome back. Today, I would like to talk a bit about establishing rhythms. A rhythm could be at school, it could be at home. Um, at home, it would be the wake up rhythm in the morning and maybe going to bed rhythm in the evening. In school, it could be what do I do first thing with the child when they walk in, what is the next thing, what is the snack time rhythm, what is the lunch time, what is the closing rhythm, right? So, those are a set of steps that happen one after the other in a very similar way every single day. So the tendency is that we could get bored with it just because we are so used to doing so many different ways, so many different things, and we get scatterbrained. We get all confused, especially when we're working with children, we confuse them a lot more. Now, if you can think about sunrise and sunset, it's a rhythm, it's a daily rhythm. Every day the sun rises and every day the sun sets. Now, do we ever get bored of it? In fact, people flock to see sunrises and sunsets mm, all across the globe. So, what is that which is rhythmic but brings in engagement, connection with that activity, right? Again, if you take example of sunrise, we go to see sunrise day after day after day, and every day the sunrise is going to be different. It could be very clear one day, it could be cloudy another day, it could be bit of clouds here and there. There could be a lot of people around us to watch sunrise that particular day. There are varieties, but sunrise remains the same. Similarly, especially when working in a classroom, our rhythm remains the same, but the way we conduct an activity changes, right? That's what engages the child, and children will be looking for that. And trying to do too many activities is equivalent to early awakening of the child. It's like too many stimulations, which could lead a child to become restless and hyper. So we want to ensure that we are slow, we are rhythmic, yet there are variations. So let me give you an example. Let's say we are teaching children to count, right? So we have like a set of onions here, and we want child to count as they pick one onion and put it in a basket. So very initially it could just be one and drop it there, pick another one, two and drop it there, third, three, drop it there. So it could just be counting to begin with, and children are fine with it. As long as I'm enjoying as an adult, as a teacher or a parent around the child, I'm enjoying that process, children will definitely enjoy it. So now they have mastered the counting. Now counting the same way is boring. So we could do a little variation next day. It's like first onion, second onion, third onion, and so on. So there is a little variation, but still there is counting happening. Then it could be look at the onion and put it in there. So I pick an onion, I look at it, and one gone, second gone. So when I'm observing, there's something else happening in the child's space. So they could begin observing the weight, feeling the change in weights, feeling observing the change in colors, the texture. Maybe the roots are a little bit more dry, the outermost layer could be a little bit more flaky. Children begin observing as they're still counting. So we are bringing an element of multi-sensorial learning out here. Still counting is there. Yeah. That's the rhythm. Math. This is part of our math activity. We are still counting, but we are bringing in another dimension of observing the texture. Maybe you can also bring in smell it and put it. Does the second onion smell the same? Put it back. So you're bringing a different dimension to the counting here. And slowly you could go with I pick one onion, put there, second onion, put there. So there are two onions on in the basket. Then I put another one, three onions in the basket. Put another one, four onions in the basket. So I'm observing that basket was empty to begin with, and now I'm adding one at a time, and the number is increasing. And now I look at the other pile, the number of onions is decreasing. We don't talk about anything, we just let child observe this process. So this is foundation to the addition. When I add something to a basket, then I have to subtract it from somewhere else. So eventually this addition and subtraction together is the same thing that we started with. 10 onions, it's 10 onions, whether it's in the basket or it's on the floor. So we do it with different, we do it differently each time. And now children are beginning to kind of imagine what is all this, right? And that could be basis for my addition subtraction that will come in first or second grade. And then one day I could just take one onion and cut it, right? Especially parents can do this at home. And now look at it inside. What's happening inside. And let children observe it. There are layers, they look beautiful, they're symmetrical. Children won't have the vocabulary, children cannot explain it to you. Let them simply observe it. And now they're curious. Next time you have potatoes to count, they may want to cut potatoes and see what's inside. They may want to cut tomatoes and see what's inside. Now they may want to compare how the inside of onion is different from inside of potato or the tomato, and how the outside is also different. Now we are laying foundation to looking within at some level. And we just do this. We don't talk about it. So it's still the repetition, it is still part of the rhythm, but we are bringing in different components. So there is no scope of getting bored here because I'm so much engaged. I'm interacting with these vegetables, not just counting them. Right? So rhythm is where you begin to enjoy the process, you're part of the process. And I know I can only do this for 30 minutes. That's my activity time. And then I have to move on to another activity. So I know this counting will come again tomorrow, so I don't feel as a child I would not be like not wanting to give it up, because it will come tomorrow again. Counting is going to be there again, and I'm going to do different aspect tomorrow again. And next day you could bring in, or a week later you could bring in a little patterning between onions and potatoes. You could bring in simple rhymes that you can, children can just do it. Potatoes, potatoes everywhere, onions, onions everywhere, or onions, onions in the basket. Something very simple, rhyming, rhythmic words you can put together and create a rhyme. So you are bringing in the musical component as well, other than the smell and the texture, and observing the inside. And you can also get it into drawing. Can you draw a potato now? Can you draw an onion now? So they could just be drawing probably a circle, but you will see the difference. When they draw onion, they may draw little roots. When they do potatoes, they may not do it. And this will happen probably in a month's time, 2 months' time, 6 months' time, depending on when the child is ready for it. But these are all the foundations that we are building definitely when the child is in nursery classroom. And make sure that you're bringing in variety, not too much, not too many in a single day. Slow upgradation, slow addition of each one dimension on daily basis, but the counting remains the same. That's the rhythm, right? The counting, this is happening in the math class. So counting remains the, but how I count, what I count, along with counting, what else do I see, and how do I integrate music, art, etc. into the math, all makes learning much more interesting. Hope you agree with me and explore it for yourself, and let's see if it makes a difference. Bye.